Right, Matt Porter is our gadget guru on the show, and every week he joins us on a Monday to review various gadgets. There were plenty of things we could have reviewed today, bearing in mind our topic matter, but we have instead the Nissan Leaf, which is yet another electric car. How many is it that you've looked at now? I remember the Tesla, the BMW, the Renaults, the two Renaults, wasn't it?
Yeah, it was two BMWs, two Renaults, yeah.
I didn't realise there were quite so many out there.
Yeah. There are a fair number. I think I've nearly reached saturation point. I do have a hybrid and another electric car, and then that's it.
Right.
So,
and what's this one like? Is this towards the lower end of the scale?
I would say the lower end of the scale. It is. Not quite lower end of the scale. It is the most popular of all pure electric vehicles.
Okay, so it's the Nissan Leaf.
Nissan Leaf, and this particular model is the Nissan Leaf Tekna. As ever, there are various models with regard to any car. It's the Tekna, so it has everything on board as usual. So it's fully loaded. It has a 80 kilowatt battery, which is about standard for this type of car. Gives a range roughly between 70 to 100 miles, which actually, to be fair, is a bit of a scary amount of range. I took it out yesterday, went to do a drive around in it, went to take some pictures and things like that, and as ever, wherever I go, I got lost. So I was driving around like an idiot for about an hour and a half. I did get back home okay, although it was beginning to panic that I was running very, very low on battery.
Yeah.
It actually decided to stop telling me how much battery I had.
Do you think you worry more about running out of battery than you would worry more about running on fumes, petrol? Is it more in your mind the duration of the journey than it would be if you were in using a petrol or diesel vehicle?
There is some concern in that respect because the technology is different. It's effectively a bit like an automatic car. Yeah. If you run out of petrol in an automatic, can you still push it and all of those kind of things? Can it be towed? Obviously, the range is quite low in comparison to a petrol car in this respect. So, yes, there is that concern, although it started telling me quite frantically where I could charge. So it said on the screen immediately where the nearest charging points were. Yeah, it did. I didn't expect it to do this. Now, when I looked for the nearest charging point earlier in the week, it was trying to find me fast chargers because there's all kinds of different types of electric charger out there that charge at different rates, at kilowatt hours and things like that, or kilowatts, sorry. And it wanted to send me to Harwich, and it wanted to send me to Port of Felixstowe, places like that, and to Colchester, and I assume they are fast chargers, which I think are 50 kilowatt. A 50 kilowatt charger, fast charger, level 3 or whatever they call them, will charge a Leaf in about 25 minutes, which is quite a good time. The other chargers are between 3 and 6 kilowatts. So I went to Martlesham Park and Ride just to see what that was about. It was quite interesting. That's got 2 chargers. So
and do you have to pay for these chargers?
No, you don't. They are covered under several schemes. So there is a scheme which is called Ecotricity, where you just write to them and say, I'd like a card, and they'll send you one, and they will work on Ecotricity charge points.
So effectively, you can drive these cars once you've got them for free.
Yeah. Source, there's another company called Source London, Source East. They cover a lot of, I think it all comes under this organisation called Pod Point.
It's encouraging people to move to this technology.
They wanted a small amount of money to register, and you got sent a card. And
so basically free fuel?
Yes, free fuel, correct. That is very true. However, you really do need to be finding fast chargers, because if I go to a charge point, say Waitrose, I'm not going to be able to have my car parked there for 6 hours while it charges it, or go to Martlesham Park and Ride and wait 3 hours or 4 hours, unless I go on a long shopping trip, for instance. Then it's going to work. So it's not going to work in respect of when it's these lower power chargers. Fast chargers, no problem. Many of the, for instance, because it's a Leaf, Nissan will have charge points at their dealerships, the same as Renault do and BMW do. But obviously you can't chop and change. You have to use those. So they are available. The problem I had, I guess, was, well, I didn't really have a problem. The nervousness was because I didn't want to be sitting forever and ever, and what I ended up doing was charging at home, because they provide you with a 13 amp adapter. You put the cable through the window and plug it in overnight, and it's absolutely fine.
Does that feel a bit weird?
Not now, it doesn't, because I've done it a few times. What you can do as well is, if you buy an electric car, I found at least 3 companies that will install a charge point for free at your home, so you won't have to do that. You just plug in. That will be a higher rating as well than going through your normal 13 amp socket, so it will charge a bit quicker. So,
and
we haven't really talked about the car.
No, that's fine. But I was just going to say to that, you've got about a minute or so to talk. Sorry, but that's where it goes. What was the performance and everything like? What did you think of the car?
Very, very nice to drive. It's different to look at than a normal car, because they've made it extremely aerodynamic, so it's a funny kind of shape in comparison to other cars you might see, but it is very quiet when you're driving. It's absolutely silent. It's very good performance wise, although if you do put your foot down on things like motorways and stuff like that, it is going to affect the battery. Although I found, as I got up to speed, I then clicked the eco button, which then dropped the output of the battery down, but because it was maintaining a speed, I was okay. Had a lovely sound system inside. It had Bluetooth, iPod points, all of those kind of things. It was a very, very nice car. Very big boot on it. It's a proper family kind of hatchback, really.
So you got on all right with it?
They've sold several thousand of them last year, I believe. They're the best-selling car. They really were very good. There are 2 different ways of buying them. You can buy the car outright, or you can buy the car and then lease the battery, similar to what Renault do. So it means that if there's a problem with the battery, when it becomes out of warranty, then you get it replaced, because it's an expensive part of the
Well, if you want to read more, thegadgetman.org.uk, thegadgetman.org.uk, for the full review of the Nissan Leaf and the other electric vehicles that you've tried as well.
That's right, yeah.
You've tried a few now, and would you switch? Would you switch or not?
I think I would. I think, especially when things like Motability, there's possibility that because our son's disabled, we could get a Motability car. We could get and possibly get one. And Nissan provide the Leaf as a Motability. It's available as a Motability car. I think it would work really well for that kind of thing. It's a good car for short journeys, around town, that kind of thing. Longer journeys, you're going to have to plan ahead, because you're going to have to be stopping every 70 to 80 miles to charge the battery. I'm not sure how practical that is. Tesla, that had 250 miles range on it. It was an entirely different car.
All right, Matt, thank you. Thegadgetman.org.uk for more on the Nissan Leaf. Thank you very much. And thegadgetman.org.uk.